And I got in and I did 4 contracts on it. And everything looked like it was going to go the right direction. And it went completely opposite.
This is The Profit Factor, a podcast where we explore topics around edge, process, and mindset to help traders become consistently profitable.
You're busy, man. You're a busy dude. Chasing bears.
Chasing bears. I was we were in Big Bend.
Yeah.
Bree and I, and we were camping and we were on this trail, and I met this Aussie, this guy from Australia. Mm-hmm. And we were just kind of chatting. I'm like, dude, you're from Australia. Like, this kind of wilderness is probably nothing for you. And he's like, oh no, dude. I'm nervous here in America. And we're like, what are you nervous? And he's like, I'm like, you guys have all the things that'll kill you. He's like, what are you talking about? You guys there's bears here. There's jaguars. There's panthers. There's, all this. He starts naming rattlesnakes, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess we do have all that stuff. He's like, we have little, he said, well, I saw this gigantic spider. It was a tarantula. And I'm like, yeah, it's just a tarantula. And he's like, yeah, we don't have spiders like that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you're in Australia. But he said like the real dangerous one, the real bad one is like really tiny. So that's the poison.
When you told me there was tarantulas in Texas, I was like, what?
They're big. They're awesome. I like them. They're kind of cool.
Yeah,
they're just chill.
I'm cool with them. That's just like, I know they can't kill you. Yeah. But just to see their pinchers like dig into your skin, they eat birds, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. My sister-in-law was bit by a brown recluse, and that was nasty.
Yeah. My sister got hit by one. She's got a mark on her leg.
I know. Yeah. For life, man. It doesn't go away.
Life, dude. Yeah. It's a nasty spider.
Yeah. So let's talk about you, Tim.
Oh boy.
Oh, trading.
I had to sip my Red Bull for this one, dude. Keep the depression from kicking in.
Yeah, that's good.
I got my butt kicked, man.
Yeah. Well, All right. You and I talked. So just for everybody to know, Tim and I, we kind of had a chat about this. But I thought it was just such a good thing that happened. Like it happens to so many traders. Like I thought, well, let's get Tim on. Let's talk about it. So, yeah. All right. What happened?
I passed the eval with flying colors, like a rock star, like a beast. I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. I pass it, feeling good. And I get my funded account. I get my PA account. And my first trade, I had the same energy that I had when I was doing my eval. The worst thing I could have ever done, dude. Yeah. So first trade I did on the PA account, I think it was two contracts, and it went flawlessly. It was 4:00 in the morning. It went flawlessly. I was like, dude, I should have put 6 contracts in that thing. So, cause it was too easy. I went on the balcony of my apartment, and I was just like, I'm about to own this place. And,
want to buy an apartment complex.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be mine. So I went back inside, and at like 10 o'clock when the market opened up, when it was time for me to trade, I found a good trade at that point. It was like 10:50, and I got in and I did 4 contracts on it, and everything looked like it was going to go the right direction, and it went completely opposite. And it didn't like bother me too bad, because I was like, well, this is part of the game, but it's not going to do that again. Yeah. So I got back in, and I went 2 contracts, and this was the next day. Actually, I didn't even trade the next day because I didn't see a good setup that day. I don't remember the dates, sadly, but it was the next day. So this was probably a Wednesday, because I got my PA account on a Tuesday. This is a Thursday, because I skipped one day. So this is a Thursday, and I did 2 contracts, 4 a.m. in the morning. Lost my butt. really quick. So I'm like, whoa, okay, slow down. Cause now I'm negative by like thousands and I'm looking at that 47,500 to lose the whole account. I'm like, all right. So now I'm scared. Now I'm like, I even shot you a message. I was like, is there anything else like I need to know, whatever? So then
just throw me a bone.
Yeah, throw me a bone, dude. This is not good. I need a cushion, you know? So now the next day, I quit that day. Next day, didn't see anything early in the morning. Around 11:30, I think I got in and I did 2 contracts again. Lost my butt on it again. Yeah. And now I'm like, I have 700. Sorry, someone was calling me. So now I'm like, I have $700 of room before I lose this thing. So I'm like, this can go really bad. So that's when you started hearing from me a lot. I was like blowing up your Discord. I was like, bro.
And that's when I'm like, dude, you need to be on micros, right?
Yeah.
And we went over the micros. Okay. All right.
That's when I went over to micros, right? Did one trade in micros and it went flawlessly like it should. And I was like,
I'm back to middies.
Let's go, baby.
Okay. All right.
So I went back to 1 mini contract and it went flawlessly. It went great.
All right.
And I was like, oh dude, if I would have had 2 of those in, I would have recovered even more time. So then I was like, you know what? I should have just been a man about it. I should have just went all in. And I was like, no, that's not the right way to think, but I should have went half in. So I was like, all right, I'm using a Mac computer and you have to use parallels. So everything was updating this day, and I lost my PA account. Long story short, I lost my PA account.
Yeah.
2 days ago, and what did it at the last time? Everything was updating. So when I logged back in to Ninja Trader, I'm about to place a trade, and I didn't realize my account wasn't on the micros. It was on the ES, and it was 2 contracts. So I'm thinking I'm good. I've got like, I think at the time I had like $500 of movement. So I'm like, this is going to be easy. Yeah. And I'm thinking I'm on micros and I'm on minis and I'm watching it go down and I'm like, it's not on micros. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, maybe it's going to bounce back up, and it bounced back up. And then the next opening was immediate admin on the account. And I just took the longest walk I've taken in a long time. I got my steps in that day, dude.
Oh, dude. Yep. All right. That's good.
Yeah.
This is good. This is really good because, we talked a little bit about the emotional part of this.
Yeah.
And the judgment that you have for yourself.
Yeah.
So, where are you at now from a mindset?
That took a second, actually. That was like a really hard moment for me because I was like, I worked so hard for the PA account and I thought I had it figured out and whatnot. And when I took that loss and lost it, it didn't even say admin right away, but I was like $100 underneath what it should have been. So I was like, maybe there's some miracle happening here where I could get it traded. I tried to place a trade. It was like, no, admin only. So that's when it really kicked in. I was like, that's when I was like, yeah, I just lost everything. So yeah, it took like, I've done a lot of things in life. So I've been up and down a lot and I've learned that you can't stay down, but that one kicked my butt, dude. That one, since you've been helping me, I've never questioned, is this for me again? Yeah. Since you've been helping me out. And that was the first time this whole time the question popped in my head. I was like, am I wasting my time? Whatever. And then the thought came and went, I was like, no, we got to stick with this. But yeah, I'm back at it.
So the answer to this question, because we already talked about this. And this is where you're like, I think we had to work on you getting a little bit vulnerable and honest with yourself. Why did you lose this account?
I didn't stick with the plan. I didn't stick with my process. there was times where I did not do things, hands down. I did not do things the way I should have done because I was full of myself. I was like, dude, I'm gonna build this cushion so quick. I'm gonna get to $3,000 so I get rid of my trailing drawdown. And I thought all that was gonna happen super quick. And you told me in the beginning, you were like, take it easy. And I was like, no, like we're gonna go full throttle here, pedal to the metal. And if I would have took it easy, hands down, I would have still had that account.
Yeah.
And the thing that I should have done when you told me to go to micros, I could have actually saved the account, like, because I'm trading the eval right now, and it's going great. Like I haven't lost one trade yet. I've only done 3 trades, but it's been a win every single time. If I would have slowed down and rethought everything before I went back and tried to just like, if you can, it's such a mind game because I really like, I document what went in my mind, I write stuff down and whatnot. And I realized that because I knew I was negative in my PA account, I had like this urgent, I was in this urgency mode. And that's where the mental comes in at. Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. I got punched in the face and I lost. I had no plan. Yeah.
It was partly that, but also it's like you won the title without competition too. And so your plan went out the window.
Yeah.
And I told you this, I said, I don't know any traders who pass their combine faster than you from learning how to trade to passing a combine. My mind was a little blown. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like,
same for me.
this guy, right? So like there are people that get into trading and like they have this awesome beginning streak. That's no healthier than guys that begin with a losing streak. Like we forget, like we always want to be envious of those kinds of guys. That doesn't necessarily help you either because you get overconfident. And then plan goes out the window and you're like, any trade I take is going to win.
Dude, I've learned something about myself during that whole process that I've never had the need for a win so bad that like I realized when things went south, me and Kat, my girlfriend, Kat, we'll play game pigeon darts. We'll play darts on our phones. She'll send me a darts game. So immediately after I'll lose something, I'd be like, I need a win. So I'll send her a game. And I didn't realize that like, I was like, dude, I'm literally sending people games so I can get a win in. I'm addicted to like a win.
Dude, I realized that the first day I met you. The bottle bash, man. You're like, hey, are you ready for another one? Let's do another. Hey, I'm going to switch partners.
I remember that, dude. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. I've learned something about myself. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring up a spreadsheet here.
Okay.
Let's see. Get the right one. All right. Screen. Okay.
Nice.
You can see that?
Oh yeah.
All right. I'll make it bigger too. That way, cause I'm getting older and my eyes are starting to go. So, okay. So let's do this. Let's talk about, we're going to assume you're going to pass your combine again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So now we're going to figure out a plan for scaling, proper scaling. Okay. So let's say that, for instance, your account size was what was that? 50K?
Yep.
All right. And then max loss, what? 22,000, 2,500? I don't remember.
2,500. I thought you meant my max loss with like the 4 contracts I did. I was like, I don't want to remember that. Yeah.
No, okay. But no. So 2,500, and let's not worry about the trail because that's dynamic. So that's just gonna bounce around a bit. Okay. This is where it gets important. We you're trading a system based on your system. Approximately, what's the most consecutive losses in a row that you you've tracked or you've seen in your data?
5.
Okay.
Consecutive. Yeah.
All right. So about 5. Oh, some people say they can't hear me. You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. And Taylor, do you mean my consecutive losses since you've been teaching me, or like even before?
Well, hang on. First of all, Rob is saying that he can't hear me. Hey, if you're on the live stream, can you just tell me, can you hear me okay? Actually, Tim, why don't you say something too? Why don't you ask everybody if they can?
Yeah, guys, can you guys hear me?
Weird, because like you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right. It's just you, Rob.
I was gonna say that.
Rob's my homie. I can give him a hard time. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So consecutive losses. Okay. What I was asking is just in your data, like you've gone back and done your back testing. What's the most number of consecutive losses that you've seen with your system?
I've done 5 in a row. I have done 5 in a row.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the way that I start planning out a live account, like when I'm attacking a new live account, I look at my consecutive loss number first. Because I want to make sure that I have that worst case scenario for me. I'm a worst case scenario planner, right? So that worst case scenario for me is I start trading the live account and then I run into my streak. I run into that worst streak. In fact, what I like to do is even plan more than that. So if you have a consecutive loss number of 5, that's been the most you've ever had. I might plan for 7.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So expected consecutive loss, we'll put here at 7. Okay. So that just gives me a little extra cushion, right?
Yeah, especially
this is not necessarily max loss, but this is the number of trade losses in a row. So greatest nothing, that's what I'm talking about, right? The number of trade losses in a row. Because what we're going to do is we're going to back into, okay, how much can I lose before I hit my max loss? And then therefore, what kind of size do I need to put on? So so now we've got max loss per trade before we hit our actual max loss. Okay. So that is going to be this 2,500 divided by 7. All right. So we can't lose any more than $357 per trade. Right?
Yep. That's right. Man, I should have did that math before I started. I'm so dumb sometimes. I should have did some math.
This math is so hard. It's killing me.
I need to go back to middle school.
I know, right? Middle school math, buddy. Middle school math. That's what we're doing.
A little bit of math can save you.
All right. So let's just say, roughly 350. That's our max loss. Okay. Yeah. So there's a couple ways to do it. So now you can dynamically change your contract size based on what your stop loss is, or you can just kind of have a standard stop loss that you're going to trade. So if you know I'm only trading 3 points on the ES, right? That's $150 per contract. So let's say, scenario 1, static stop loss. Okay. Yeah. Stop loss amount is, 3 points on ES stop loss value per contract. That's $50 times 3 points, right? So max ES contracts. Well, we'll just keep it simple. So 2.
Yep.
Oops. My number. Okay. 2.3 to be exact, but let's, you round it to 2. Okay. So you can't trade any more than 2 mini contracts under these rules.
Got it. That's what I should have stayed with. Yeah.
Now, if you're like, oh, I'm going to give it more space. Okay, let's increase that. We still can do 2. It's a little bit, less than that 2.3. Once we get up to here, though, now we're down. Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Maybe we're in micros. Okay.
Yeah.
So this cushion, this is kind of up to you and kind of what you want to trade.
Yeah, you definitely want to trade something like that, especially, tell me if I'm wrong, but like if you're trading, one thing I learned too is that, because of the stop losses, you want to make sure they're far enough down because you'll have that dip.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have, 5 consecutive losses, like I said, you got to make sure you have that room.
Yeah. Yeah. So now there's another way to do it. So hang on. So let me bring up one of my charts here. I need to bring up a chart that doesn't have a bunch of junk on it. So I got to find a layout that's like pretty simple. Okay. So you can see that. And I'm assuming everybody else can see that. And I'm hoping everybody else can see that. Okay. So probably not a good example because we're using CL here, but CL is a little bit different than ES. So TradingView does have this nice tool here. It's these tools up here where I can click a short position. Let's say I'm going short right here. And my stop loss is variable. So I have a more dynamic stop loss. So it's based on maybe what's happening in the market versus what's happening, versus a static stop loss. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to take 3 points every time. Sometimes it might be 7 points. Other times it might be 2 points. And so what that means is you'll have a lot of variability in the number of contracts that you can trade because you're still risking just that $350. So what's nice about this kind of tool here is I can come into the settings and say my max risk, 18. My lot size is that. My risk is 350. Okay, there's my entry price. Okay, if I do that, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. So what this shows me now, zoom in so if everybody can see that. My stop loss is 17 ticks, right? I set it up so that my max loss is $350, right? And notice this QTY, that's the quantity I can trade. I can trade 2 standard CL contracts based on this stop loss value. And as I move my stop loss value, the quantity will change. So this is pretty good for planning trades using a more dynamic method. Now, obviously, if you're scalping, this isn't going to work because it's too slow. So you need to maybe do something different. Like maybe you want to go into your spreadsheet and maybe you just want to have a running scale, a table that has 1 contract, 2 contracts, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And then how much, what that loss looks like. So this is a great tool for that. It's kind of really easy to kind of configure. So those are kind of the 2 ways. In fact, let's go ahead and map that out just to make sure it's really clear because I didn't say it very clear. So, dynamic stop loss. So the amounts are, let's do, 1 point, 2 points, 3, 4, 5, just to make it simple.
Yeah.
Right. So if I have a 1 point stop loss, then basically, so let me see, hang on. I have to do middle school math here, guys. So you have to let me think about this. Okay, wait. We're going back to here. All right. So we have max loss of 357. So it is equals this divided by this times 50. That should do it. 7. Yep. All right. And then hang on, handy dandy. Let's do that. That's going to stay the same. And I'm going to do this all the way down here. All right. And then this is my number. Okay. Okay. Boom. So that's just kind of tells me a scale of like, okay, if I have a stop loss that's 2 points, I can trade 3.57 contracts. If I have a stop loss that's 3 points, I can only trade 2. At 4 points, I'm a little bit less than 2. Yeah. And if you want to be precise, you can trade micros.
Yeah.
So you can trade here, you can trade 18 micros, you can trade 14 micros, you can trade 23 micros. So those are the 2 different approaches that you want to use here.
Got it.
Questions?
That's genius, man.
It's just math. It's just middle school math.
I know. No one wants to do the math.
Yeah, I know. Because we're thinking ahead. We're like, oh, I don't want to do the math because if I think ahead, then it takes me out of this space of where I feel mojo and I feel excited about the markets and stuff. Like, now it becomes work.
Yeah, that's really smart.
So my suggestion is a couple things. One is this the goldfish setup primarily you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So goldfish is nice because it's going to be a dynamic stop loss, and it's slower, right? Because you're on that 5-minute chart, so it's super easy to kind of prepare using this tool. That's the nice thing is you can use this tool to kind of set up your trade ahead of time. You kind of have a good idea, and then you can kind of plan ahead the amount of contracts. So you should be, with that approach, you should be using the dynamic stop loss approach with the max loss.
Okay.
Right. Now, here's the thing about the dynamic stop loss. This is really important is you don't want to fudge it, right? Like I know a lot of people are like, well, if I only have a 1 point loss, I can load up with 7 contracts, right? Well, yeah, but you're also, what are you doing when you do that? What are you increasing?
You're increase. Wait, could you say that one more time, Taylor?
Well, I'm looking for something, and I don't know if you'll get it, but like what's the problem with taking that approach?
So you can lose your butt on it, basically.
Well, you're risking the same monetary amount.
Okay.
But what you're doing is you're increasing the likelihood of you actually getting a stop loss. Mm. So the further your stop is away, the less likely it's to get hit, but the more you could potentially lose, right? So, you don't want to be like, well, I really want to trade 7 contracts, so I'm going to put my stop loss at 1 point because that lets me trade my 7 contracts, right? It's like, great, but you could probably, it's a higher probability you're going to kiss those goodbye. Unless you're really, really precise about getting yourself in. Go ahead.
Sorry. That was actually one of my my issues when trading when I got scared. Yeah. Was that the method, the process actually was going to work like 3 of those, I think total losses I had, they weren't in a row. It was like 5 losses for me to lose, probably 7 trades for me to lose my PA account. And it was like 4 big trades. The other stuff was like the micro stuff, whatever. But I didn't follow the process. So what should have been a good setup and was actually a good setup, my stop loss caught me. That caught me like 3 or 4 times. And then, I go for a walk or get a drink or whatever. And when I look back, I pull up TradingView on my phone. I look back and it did exactly what it should have did. And I was like, I just would have stood in there, man. Then you get a text from me, Taylor. That's why.
Yeah, but that happened to me yesterday, man. Like I had a beautiful, perfect process trade, and it's like I got wicked out by like 2 ticks, and it's like all I can do is follow my process. That's what I can do.
And that's what we have to do, because once you have a process that you're genuine to, you have to stick with it. Because like today, I'm doing the evaluation again. Dude, I just stuck with it. I got in a trade 2 hours ago, whatever the market was at, and it dipped super hard. It's about to hit my stop loss. And because it's an evaluation account, I just whatever, let it go. And it did it. It shot right back up. And I was like, that's the thing. Like when I see that with the PA count, dude, you're talking about scary. So yeah, real money's different.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. But it's good. It's good stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Like this is why we're kind of doing this and doing the math part of this. Okay.
That's why we're thankful for Taylor.
Yeah. You're too kind.
I couldn't do this by myself. Not kidding. I'd be like, nah, this ain't for me. I'm out.
Yeah. We had a live stream yesterday with, there's some of us in Market Flow Trader. It was me and Patrick, Kevin, Revan. And I mean, some of the guys that are listening now were in that live stream, but like all of us are like, you need a coach. The reason that I said you need a coach, sorry guys, if you've listened to me here, you're going to hear it again, right? So I said it yesterday, you'll hear it again. There's just like this so much cynicism in the trading world around vendors, people who are selling services. And the problem with that is that this is a professional environment and there are professionals out there and you're not going to get their content for free. The most advancement that I made in my trading was through services that I paid for. Now there's a lot of services I paid for that probably weren't the best, probably a little scammy, and some that maybe didn't help me as much as I had hoped that they helped me. That's all part of the game. That's all there. It's kind of like you go to college and you don't have a problem shelling out $25,000 per semester for college, knowing that you're going to take some classes that you're never going to use those again. That's okay. Like you're still making that investment in yourself. And, just the best things that I've learned in my trading that have helped me the most have actually come from the paid side. So the coaching and getting coaching, like you can help people, like my goal is to help people cut through all of the junk that's out there. There's so much junk out there in terms of information, advice, all that kind of stuff. You just need to cut through it all. So
yeah,
that's what I'm helping you do, right? Like, I think I even told you, I said like, don't go on YouTube and start going down the rabbit hole when we first met. And I'm sure you've probably done
right.
it because you start looking at like, oh, well, maybe I should integrate that thing into my trading, right? And you can spend for years on all these ideas that are out there. So I'm trying to like focus you on just what is it the bare minimum that you need. And so it's cool. It's a good process.
When you showed me the, just to cap off on that, when you helped me out, like at first, when we first met, you just helped me set it up and start trading the eval. When you officially were like, all right, I'm going to show you some stuff here. Dude, no one's going to give that for free. Like, I'm just saying that like in general, like I don't care who your friend is or anybody, no one's going to get that for free. Like I told you, I was like, dude, that takes you years to like, there's no way you're going to get that by yourself. There's no way. That amount of knowledge.
My years of pain is your benefit.
Yeah.
All right. So last thing we're going to talk about on the spreadsheet, and then we can kind of wrap this up, right? Because you're ready to go on your next account, right? Because you have a trailing drawdown, you have to probably build a spreadsheet like this and every day update it, because your max loss is going to change
every time.
Especially with the goldfish system, right? Like you might have a really big move that then comes back and takes you out at break even, and so like this might go from, 2,500 to 1,800. You're not allowed to change your consecutive loss stuff, right? You got to leave these as is, but you can adjust your max loss size, and then you adjust this, and it adjusts everything down in the sheet for you.
Yeah.
I can share this with you, and you can kind of play around with it, make it look pretty or whatever.
I'm gonna have to because I'm not good at
your math knowledge.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that, and then I haven't used was that Google Sheets? Dude, I haven't used Sheets in years, man. So,
oh my God.
You're making me look bad, Taylor. Everybody, I'm not dumb, I swear.
No, we know that. You're extremely capable and smart. So that's the thing is you just want to stay on top of that and then monitor this. Like this needs to be part of your kind of your process of every day, like checking this, adjusting it, knowing, okay, in the next morning I'm prepared and I know how I'm going to size. I know how I'm going to scale and I'm ready to go.
That's what it takes, dude. Yeah. You can't just go, you can't just go crazy like I was doing.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good lesson and you're on a good path, So, this was a good thing to learn. You are like every other trader, just learning the value of following your process, being extremely disciplined. And then what we're doing here is identifying, hey, this was a weakness for me. This was a problem. So now how do I create a new process rule to follow this better? So this is your new process rule. Update this daily, make sure that you know how you're going to size your positions and you're off and running.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. Let's do this.
All right, my friend. Any questions from the audience, the YouTube audience? Anyone want to know anything from Tim? Any questions? Any questions about the spreadsheet? You guys can all do this yourselves. Everybody knows what they're doing.
Everybody's like, Tim's behind.
No.
How does Tim not know how to do this?
Dude, no, like seriously, most people don't think about this kind of stuff.
The spreadsheet is definitely going to help for sure. Yeah, I need
that. Can you get a copy of the spreadsheet? Man, I hate giving stuff away that looks so crappy. I'm going to do it. I'm going to give a copy of the spreadsheet, but I'm going to go clean it up a little bit, just make it look a little nicer. And then I'll
perfectionist.
But yeah, not very much, just a couple things, but yeah. Let's see. The best place for me to put it would be maybe, can I post a link in comments on YouTube? I guess I can do that. Yeah. No, I can put it in the description. Yeah, I can put it in the description when we're done.
Yeah.
I'll put it
or a comment and then just pin it.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that too. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. All right, my man. Thanks for the time. This is great. Oh, wait.
I'm excited.
Michael M., have you run Monte Carlo simulations to find worst case drawdowns based on win-loss and R rates? No. Wait. Tim, what's a Monte Carlo simulation?
Dude, we're going to Monte Carlo. Or we go. What car is outside? Monte Carlo's outside?
Wait, the Grand Prix already happened.
Yeah. Right. I have no idea.
Didn't Verstappen win that one?
I have no idea. No, sorry, man. I don't know. I have no idea what that is.
Wasn't there a Monte Carlo Grand Prix where wasn't it Alonso that it seemed like it was like a couple years ago and it was raining and he held up like 3/4 of the field.
Really? I didn't know that. I need to check
That's
that
when
out.
I fell in love with Alonso. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is awesome. Because it's like it's basically a parade, Monte Carlo. You can't pass anywhere, and it was raining, and he just held up like 3/4 of the field just to capture his whatever spot. It was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man!
And everyone's like, "Oh, move out of the way, you jerk!" Really slow.
Oh, legend, man, legend.
I love it. No Monte Carlo simulations. I think you probably need a certain size data sample for that to work, and I think Tim is still fairly new in, kind of back testing the rules and stuff. And then, that's kind of, pretty advanced kind of work. I'm not sure that there's a lot of traders that can kind of run that kind of stuff. So it'd be interesting. So. Awesome. All right. We're going to end it for today. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody had a great week and is all set up. Remember, hey, I have a little banner now. Wait, my little banner. Oh, the profit factor. Oh, I didn't put I should put like a little URL.
Nice.
I got to think about this kind of stuff. All right. Mm-hmm. For those of you who aren't in the Consistency Accelerator, would love to have you join us, marketflowtrader.com. And it's a great program for building consistency. Here's
everything.
It's awesome. There's an awesome community of traders here that are working together, working to become consistent. I run a program to help accelerate consistency and would love to coach you. So
I wouldn't be here without you. I'll tell you that.
All right, my friend. You have an awesome weekend. All right. And we'll catch up. Maybe not next week, maybe the week after. Let's see where you're at.
The account, here I come.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Check out my YouTube channel at The Profit Factor on YouTube. But if you really want to amp up your trading game, take a look at my Consistency Accelerator program. This is a program that was designed to systematically help you become consistently profitable. It includes coaching and course material around edge, process, and even mindset. Check it out at www.gettheprofitfactor.com.